Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of The Bald Brad Show. It is officially Sunday, and yes, this is a surprise live stream. I figured, hey, I miss you guys too much. Let's just hop on and see where this takes us. Nothing really planned, and we'll spend some time just chatting, going through the news. What the hell's going on in the world? Are we blowing up? Is something going on? We're going to break everything down for you, as we always do. Good to see you, Candy. Mac Mama's in the house. Dizzy, Jeremy, Betts. We got everybody over there. We also got, man, we got a lot of people here. Jeff, we got HK, we got Devil's Advocate. Steven's here, Michelle's here, Steve's here. Sea-Dog's always here. We got everybody. Good to see all of you. And yes, this is a surprise live stream. We never do the weekends, but, I figured, hey, let's dabble into the news a little bit and kind of just see what's going on and see where it will take us. So Donald Trump is here talking on Air Force One about ISIS and how we have no wars and that everything was good. And then when the numbskull got in office, speaking of Joe Biden, now they all call themselves, well, this.
Inflation is going to be a big deal because if you look at me, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. This is not new to me. I took in during my 4 years hundreds of billions of dollars from China. And we also took in a lot of money from other countries, but in particular China, because it was just getting started. And we had no inflation. Who had inflation was Biden. Biden had the worst inflation in the history of our country. I had no inflation. We had a perfect country. We had no wars. I ended them all. I defeated ISIS. Everything was good. And then when this numbskull got in, as they really call themselves now, numbskulls, but when he got in, bad things happened to our country, including our open border. And now we're doing very well with, we have the best numbers on the border that we've ever had. I don't think inflation.
And what's fascinating about all this is he is right. It's so odd to me how we went through 4 years of Joey with all his knuckleheadedness. The inflation, the invasion of the southern border, the foreign wars that were taking place, the terrorists going after our merchant vessels and our naval ships. I mean, everything and anything that did happen under Joey. We didn't hear a peep from the Democrats. And mind you, for 4 years, I kept saying, hey, remember how in 2016 to 2020, all of our lefty friends went on social media and started to complain and whine and bitch and moan in the streets, on social media, on national television, screaming to the skies, literally at times. And I said, why are there crickets here? Inflation's through the roof. We're being invaded. Our husbands are being attacked. Our wives are being attacked. Our kids are being attacked. Everybody's being attacked. It's like Oprah Winfrey handing out free houses and cars. Nothing. Crickets. All of a sudden, by the way, the stock market, people lost thousands, tens of thousands of dollars under Joey. Not a freaking thing mentioned online. Nobody talked about it. Weird. Now all of a sudden the stock market dips and now everybody wants to go out and say, as you mentioned, we're going into a Great Depression. We're going into a recession. What's happening? Why doesn't everybody just calm down for a moment and collect their thoughts and see maybe what the game plan is here, what is actually happening? Really, really wild stuff. Other things are, Michelle coming in hot, baby. Become an American Patriot over at YouTube. I love the badge. And that's a shield. That means you've been around for a while. And, well, we already knew that, but greatly appreciate it nonetheless. Jeff here says stock market is down 1,600 points tomorrow, but I believe Trump is taking it. And then once the investors swoop in on the New York Stock Exchange, and uncertainty of the market and economy will boom. We talked about this a little bit last week. And I mean, this is my theory. I could be wrong, right? We have $36 trillion in debt. Somewhere in the realm of 6 to 9 trillion has to be refinanced this year or next year. My theory is through the form of tariffs, through the form of, I guess, so-called fear mongering too, kind of spooking, shocking the market, is driving it down. Because when you drive the market down, right, people are selling off, but they still need to invest. They're not really going to hold on to their money. They could, and that's what Thomas Sowell was talking about where people might not invest at all. They might just hold on to it. And then you're really screwed. You actually got a big problem there. But people still want to invest, right? Because they need to beat out inflation. Well, one of the things you could do is go buy up those bonds. I mean, America bonds are back. They got a AAA rating. Some are saying it might drop down to a AA rating. But when you go into those bond markets and then the interest rate drops, well, what you have is an offset in the interest rate of bonds, where the current bonds will be at a lower interest rate, where the prior bonds that were in the past have a higher interest rate. So people are going to be trying to get into those bonds with a higher interest rate. All the while, there's still those bonds with the lower interest rate. Well, because of the lower interest rate, the Reserve will look at that, the markets, the banks, everything will react to those lower interest rates. Well, now that's the moment that you refi that $6 to $9 trillion, and that helps offset. And that's actually saving money at the end of the day because your interest rate's not going to be as high. Now, is what is taking place? I'm honestly, a hand of God, I don't know, but it is a speculation that I have. So not exactly sure, but I think that's the 4D chess play that's taking place. Now, here's the thing. I've always told you guys to be transparent. That is a very, very risky move that he is doing. It might not play out the way that he thinks it will, but maybe it will. That's why I said you got to let the guy cook. Maybe he's cooking up something good. Maybe it's going to taste delicious, or it's going to taste really bad. Nonetheless, we're going to see where it goes, and I hope it goes in a positive direction for the United States. And mind you guys, we'll cover a lot of this stuff tomorrow morning on the Bald Brad Show. A lot of stuff on tariffs, a lot of countries talking, 50 countries are negotiating with the White House as we speak right now. You got Vietnam and another country. I know Colombia, but you have Vietnam and another country wanting to go to zero tariffs on both sides. So we'll see. I'll explain that one in one moment. But C-Dog coming in hot, Bald Brad Army. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. C-Dog is always chiming in, always sending me messages, always saying thank you. Really humble person, humble patriot. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We got a lot of people joining today. Holy smokes, this is awesome. Dizzy's over there, and thank you, Michelle and C-Dog. Appreciate both of you. Thank you. Brad, the left, once again, is acting like insane people or perhaps terrorists posing as freedom fighters, and the left are destroying our country. There are some videos that I really want to show you guys, but we would get taken down. And what the videos portray is that exact thing. The left acting insane and doing wild, obscene gestures with Trump dolls and wearing sex toys around their waist. That is the stuff that it is wild. Put it this way, you couldn't put it on TikTok. You can't put it on YouTube. But yet YouTube and TikTok are both extremely left-leaning. By the way, one of my good buddies on there, Conservative Ant, had his whole account banned on TikTok. 1.2 million subscribers on TikTok completely banned. That's why I don't invest a ton of time into it. I have fun there trolling lefties and progressives, but that is ran by lefties and progressives. They'll just take your whole platform down. They don't care. That guy legitimately could have been making $120,000, $150,000 a year off TikTok alone. Gone like that. That's why I don't put a lot of stake in TikTok. Stock stake. Now I'm talking a little hungry here. Brad, did you see 50 countries are coming to the table? Yep, we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. So I got to be careful because I don't want to, as they say, blow my load here on this Sunday evening podcast. This is more to hang out with you fine patriots and read the chat a little bit more. If you are curious, the platforms that we're on currently, we're on X, we're on TikTok, but we're also on Rumble. And on Rumble, we are under the umbrella of news tonight, but also the just chatting category. So the just chatting is us hanging out and what it sounds like, just chatting and going over stuff. So here's Donald Trump himself. We got a few more clips here of him saying he spoke to leaders of the world's biggest tech companies over the weekend. And you know what they said? We don't blame you. I don't think anybody other than the left really blames Donald Trump. We've been taken advantage of from these countries for freaking decades. And I mean, look at Trump calls out China and rightfully so. Let's just talk about this really quick, you guys. And this goes into what I was going to say with the zero tariff idea with Vietnam and other countries. So let me actually come back to this real quick. It goes with that idea of what I shared with you on the Bald Brad Show last week, where you have two vehicles, both are selling for $10,000. You have the United States and you have China. And let's just pretend they both impose a 60% tariff on each other. Well, that means when US wants to sell their cars in China, that's going to be a $6,000 tax on the Chinese. So that car's not $60,000. It's let's say it takes because it's cost of goods, costs $60,000 to make. They're going to, let's just say, sell it for $66,000 because you have that $60,000 plus that $6,000 tax on it, that tariff. They're just going to break even. Let's just pretend to make life easy. No profit whatsoever. Well, China is going to impose a retaliatory tariff of 60%. So now they're going to sell their cars in the United States for $66,000 as well. That's the wash. Here's the problem with, well, we're going to just bring our tariffs down to zero. That doesn't do anything. The reason why is because the United States, it's expensive to build a vehicle here because you have American manufacturers getting paid quite a bit. I think it's on average around $30-something an hour. That's average. So let's just say the United States still costs 60 grand to make that vehicle, which it doesn't. We're just making 10. I'm doing 60 and 10. Holy Lordy. Nobody's going to catch me on that. I'm talking 60. Sorry, 16,000 altogether. I don't know why I'm doing 60. That's a real car prices. 10,000, 60%. We'll make it 6,000, 16,000. Holy Lordy, what's going on? Well, the problem is, and I wish I had like an infographic. The problem is that China and some of these countries subsidize their manufacturing. So for us to make that $10,000 vehicle, and then we're getting hit with a 60% tariff in China to sell our vehicle for 16,000. Well, that's not what they're doing. They're subsidizing that vehicle. So it ain't costing them 10,000, folks. It's costing them half of that, $5,000. And then that 5,000, because it's on the cost of good, is hit with 60%. So they're selling it for it cheaper over here. Well, if you bring the tariffs down to zero, they're still going to subsidize said manufacturing. So even if it's 0-0 for the United States, it's still cheaper to build it in China. It still doesn't do anything for us. So Trump would still have to impose tariffs to offset that trade imbalance still, even if the country set at zero. That is what we'll be talking about a little bit tomorrow, because it actually doesn't really do much. So he can't keep it at zero. He has to keep his tariffs there. The other countries have to bring down their tariffs. That's what would happen. That's what needs to happen if you want to have equal trade. That's what the $20. That says, don't sweat the market. It will go down more as then come back later in the year. It's still tax season. I think, well, I mean, right, we have about 115 years of stock market to look at it. I think it will go back up. Absolutely. You know, the market is very reactionary. It's very spooked. I think it's going to be very volatile for the time being. I think for quite a while until things start stabilizing. And it seems like countries are wanting to work with the Trump administration relatively quickly. But again, that was just one piece of the pie. I mean, this is there's a lot of variables that are going in this, especially when it comes to China, because remember, not only are they subsidizing manufacturing, the manufacturing is already cheap, but I believe their currency is the yuan, right? I think I have that correct. Is they're also manipulating their currency. So when they sell a vehicle or when you're getting tariffed, that is on the US dollar. It's not like the US dollar is going into their economy. Is what the government is doing over in China is they're buying up the US dollar so they can not inflate their currency and make their currency stronger. And so what they're doing is they're actually taking the US dollar and giving out yuan for that US dollar, holding on to the dollar, and then going back and buying our bonds on that dollar. So they're completely manipulating their currency to keep the value of the currency down, because when the value of the currency is down, things are a lot cheaper. They're cheaper to make, they're cheaper to buy, and that's what they're doing in manipulating the currency. So you basically have a double middle finger taking place. Is not only are they imposing tariffs, but they're also manipulating their currency to keep things cheaper over there, to be able to manufacture things cheaper. It's crazy, man. It's bonkers, dude. And then the left's like, oh, how could Trump do this?
Sir, have you talked to any tech leaders over the weekend about the tariffs?
Yeah, I talked to the biggest in the world. I talked to the biggest of them all, many of them. But I've talked to, I would say 4 or 5 that are considered the biggest. They don't, you know what they said? We don't blame you.
Sir, have you...
I think anybody that has their head on straight doesn't blame them. I mean, you know, to be fair, you know, I mean, people's 401ks did take a hit, right? It wasn't like this isn't having, you know, major impacts on people. I mean, if you're looking to retire right now and your retirement was last week, it ain't happening. You're pushing that sucker back till the market rebounds, man, because you just lost a ton of freaking money. But it's saying here this is not sustainable. The United States can't lose 1.9 trillion on trade and also spend a lot of money on NATO in order to protect European nations. We cover them with military, then we lose money on trade. The whole thing is crazy. Again, there's so many variables here, but it's bonkers. Brad, your mouth is killing me tonight. What's wrong with my mouth? Am I doing something weird? Oh, your math. I'm like, my mouth? Like what? What's wrong with my mouth? Bitch.
Countries, they all want to do, just so you understand the power of what I'm doing. Every country is calling and being very solicitous of us. Very, very nice. They're being very nice. And we have to be able to justify. This is not sustainable. The United States can't lose $1.9 trillion on trade. We can't do that and also spend a lot of money on NATO in order to protect European nations. We cover them with military, then we lose money on trade. The whole thing is crazy. And I got elected on that basis. We explained it. You know, the American people understand it a lot better than the media. But the media understands it. And much of the media writes correctly about it, I must say. I've spoken to many countries.
I mean, there's a resolution to this as well. We're almost spending, what is it, $900 billion or something like that on NATO. I mean, look, cut it in half then. I have no problems with that, cutting it in half. First, you had Marco Rubio come out, I believe who it was, last week at the tail end. And he said that he expects NATO allies to start contributing 5%, I believe, of their GDP or something like that. But why are we the ones that are footing most of the bill? We're here off by ourselves, by the way. What, is Canada going to do something to us? Canada ain't going to do shit. They're the size of California. They're small, they're a little bit bigger than California now. Things have kind of changed with their population, but you understand what I mean. Oh, Mexico going to do something? If you got a president in office, Mexico ain't going to do anything either. Mexico's small. Mexico's like a little flea on you. Just flick them off. No, all that stuff is across the world. I'm not saying it can't have impacts on us, because if, Europe were to go to war, then obviously that's going to have impacts on the market. That's going to have impacts on trade. It's going to have impacts on a lot of areas and sectors. But if they want the security, then, start paying for it then. It blows my mind that it's saying, hey, we'll give you security, but don't worry, we're going to pay for the security that we're going to give you. It don't work like that. You should be paying us for the security. It is bonkers. It is truly bonkers. Here's a reporter asking, is there pain in the market at some point you're unwilling to tolerate? This is actually a really good question.
Pain in the market, at some point you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question.
My bad. Thank you. The yen, not the won. Thank you.
It's so stupid. I think I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring, it's already started because they put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out and our country will be solid and strong again.
I love that he's really holding his ground. And again, it does speak volumes that allegedly that there's countries like Taiwan and Vietnam offering zero tariffs on the United States, which again, we will cover more in detail in tomorrow morning. If you didn't know, we do have a morning podcast. I think there's a lot of regulars in here that already know that. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do an actual full-blown hour-long podcast where we go over a bunch of different articles, not just one. There's a lot of those shows that they'll theme it and go, oh, well, we're going to talk 45 minutes about one thing, and then we'll get to a little bit of sporadic other news. We go over a bunch of different stuff. Jason says they'll all bend a knee eventually. Even China, he's only charges 50% of what they do, so he can up it. Well, one, thank you so much for the $5, sir. And second, you're absolutely right. Bad says, Brad, Chinese currency is called the yen. Yeah, I apologize. I was saying the yuan. Yeah, my bad. I look like an idiot, but it's okay. I gotta look stupid every once in a while, and that's what comes with the territory, folks. It comes with the territory of being on the internet. I was like, what am I gonna call it? What are we gonna do here? Trump says, I do want to solve the deficit problem that we have with China, with the European Union and other nations. If they want to talk about that, I'm open to talking. Trump's all about negotiating. Look, he picks up the phone. He's not like Joey, that there's a massive war taking place in Russia, Ukraine, and he's telling all of us that he wants to solve it, but yet he won't talk to Vladimir Putin. Now, that's an analogy of what's taking place here is the phone's always open. Donald Trump's always willing to take a phone call, always willing to work a deal, and a deal that benefits the American people, not the other way around.
Of the deficit problem that we have with China, with the European Union and other nations. And they're going to have to do that. And if they want to talk about that, I'm open to talking. But otherwise, why would I want to talk? And as you know, because of the tariffs, we have $7 trillion already committed to be invested in the United States, building auto plants, building chip companies, and all sorts of companies are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. Biden had nothing coming in. This was a dead country with Biden. He didn't know what he was doing, and that's now been proven at least. But I do want to.
I mean, the country was definitely going down the pooper, that's for sure. But Biden didn't care. So here's actually I believe this is a Truth Social post. It says, we have massive financial deficits with China, the European Union, and many others. The only way this problem can be cured is with tariffs, which are now bringing tens of billions of dollars into the United States. They are already in effect and beautiful, thing to behold. The surplus with these countries has grown during the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. We're going to reverse it and reverse it quickly. Someday people realize that tariffs for the United States of America are a very beautiful thing. It depends how you handle it. And again, I'm not quite sure that Donald Trump's going to keep these tariffs in place. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody really knows what his long-term plan is, because just because he says something out here in the open doesn't mean that's exactly what's going on behind closed doors. I mean, we know Donald Trump is usually a few steps ahead of everybody else. I mean, this could all be negotiating tactics. Hell, I don't know. I firmly believe he is trying to bring manufacturing back here in the United States. You can't keep relying on all these countries and just outsourcing it to these different nations for your goods and services. When shit hits the fan, folks, you got to build that here and have it ready to go. I'm not saying that you can't outsource some products, goods, and services, but when you bring that labor back here in the United States, that's revenue for the United States on a tax basis. That's more money that's going back in the economy. That's more money that's being pumped out. And by the way, that would, in a sense, maybe create a cheaper good or service. Brando says, if the risk of being live, B-ball Brad. I don't know what that means, Brando, but I appreciate it. Jimmy Hoffa, I never been in a jet. Is it really that loud flying? It depends where you're sitting at, but yeah, it's just like a loud winding noise. Depends where you're sitting at, though. If you're sitting next to the actual thing, then yeah, the engine could be pretty loud. But it's usually not that bumpy, but I don't know. They're standing up too. Let's see what else we have here in the news. We have Senator Roger Marshall. I trust POTUS. He's proved in Trump 45 that he has given us the best economy that we've ever professionally lived in. Low unemployment, low inflation. I support his plan. Look, it's already happening right now. There is low unemployment. There was job numbers that just came out that were through the roof. They were higher, way higher than expected. Look, it's not like the job numbers that Joey would post that were drastically inflated, and then a couple months later, they'll secretly change the number on you. We made 80,000 new jobs. And it turns out it was actually negative, like 20,000 jobs. They had like adjust it. Y'all remember that? A couple times they pulled that maneuver. Donald Trump, I think it was like 228,000 jobs. So the job numbers are looking good. The inflation rate's going down. Goods and services are actually getting cheaper. Gas is getting cheaper. Eggs are already cheaper. But, Donald Trump's just terrible, right? Oh, he's just god awful.
Problem. He proved in Trump 45 that he gave us the greatest economy that I've ever professionally lived in. Low unemployment, low inflation. Jobs are coming. 500,000 manufacturing jobs are added as well. So I believe in President Trump's plan. I support his plan. I want to bring jobs back. I think that this direct investment that we're seeing, there's great opportunities for Kansas. So these higher tariffs are forcing direct investments. The aerospace industry in Wichita. We've talked about agriculture as well. I do think these tariffs are going to bring a lot of those jobs jobs home. Right now in the aerospace industry, a lot of the tailpipe assemblies, the navigation equipment, et cetera, are made in China. I think those are all jobs I'd like to see back.
So you're
in
ready
Canada.
to let it ride and
Absolutely
leave the power with the executive branch.
I trust the
We'll see what happens with it. But Jeff also asked, Brad, have you ever thought about doing TikTok panel? I have thought about it. Here's the problem that I've had with it. So I've done TikTok lives. The reason why I haven't been live on TikTok for the past 90 days, roughly, is because I got banned on TikTok live for not even saying anything remotely bad. And so it leads into, believe it or not, that platform is so censored and so against conservatives and Republicans. It is actually mind blowing. So that's why I'm hoping somebody buys it. Because if somebody buys it, then I'll actually go hard in the paint on TikTok, and we'll actually be not just live streaming our shows on Rumble, YouTube, and X, but we would also be streaming live on TikTok. But they'll ban you for anything. It doesn't matter what you say. So speaking of what's going on here, the President of the United States is now doing is cutting the red tape with all the bureaucracy, all the shenanigans with what's going on with the offshore and onshore drilling, which is nice to see. Again, this is something we've been begging Joe Biden to do, is get rid of the regulation that's going on with the fossil fuel industry and just allow it to thrive and boom so that you have the energy prices to be cheaper. When energy prices are cheaper, it's better for literally everybody. Not only is it going to be better for you at home because now your energy bill is going to be cheaper, but now your goods and services are going to be cheaper because everything's ran by fossil fuels, whether that's train, flight, or car, or truck, or vehicle. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's ran by gas and oil, baby, it's going to be cheaper. It's a no-brainer. But the problem was that Joey wanted to run on, I'm going to remove and delete the fossil fuel industry. And then he comes out and says that he wasn't going to do that. But he campaigned on it. So did, I don't want to say Hillary Clinton, but Kamala Harris. AOC is the one that wants to do this as well. She might be running for president as well. Rumors is there was a poll out, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but Chuck Schumer was being outpolled by AOC. That's a scary thing. I mean, they're both terrible, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like pick your poison, pick the evil one. They're both evil, but I don't know. You'd almost want Chuck Schumer in there over AOC because AOC's batshit crazy, man. That woman is off her rocker. She clearly had way too much to drink when she was a bartender.
President Trump is now doing is cutting that red tape. He's cutting the bureaucracy. He's making it easier. You're going to see lease sales both onshore and offshore. And most importantly, we have to get to a place of permitting reform so that energy companies are not competing with Uncle Sam, that you don't have years of delays due to litigation or the red tape that the bureaucracy has imposed. And I think that's what you're going to see. It's going to enter us into a new era of energy. And with the incoming AI data centers and the technology that you're seeing, the demand for electricity is only going to increase. In some cases, people are predicting as much as double. What President Trump is now doing.
So I love to see that. Let's see what we have over here. You have Jimmy Hoffa saying gas is cheaper, just went up 35 cents this week. I believe the national was that it was down. But Jimmy, I know I left you a comment before. It depends where you're looking. So if you're looking at a local, state level, or national level, of course the prices are going to fluctuate. But we're talking about the average price of gas, and I'm looking at AAA fuel right now, and it is currently down. So I don't know where you're getting your numbers from, but I'm looking at it right here, and it is down. So again, it also depends on where you're looking at. But as of a year ago, it is down. So I guess I'll just pull it up myself here. Year ago average was 351 for regular. It's 325, 326. So I don't know what to tell you, brother. I know you're one of the fellow patriots in here, but I'm going to keep saying it's down because it is down. So I suppose you have an argument right here where yesterday it was 262 or a week ago it was about $3.16. But I mean, you can look at when Joey was in office compared to now. It's down, dude. So I don't know what to tell you. But that's from AAA, and everybody goes off gas prices on AAA. So things are looking good, my friend. Now, as I mentioned, again, it depends where you live at. It depends on the state. I mean, Trump can't handle state taxes himself. That's on the state itself. Like my state of California, gas prices fluctuate all the time. They go up and down all the time, and it's mostly due to the taxes, the supply and demand, the refineries. The refineries are already down usually. They're not being up taken care of. They're not being maintained. So there's a lot of things that go into that. There you go. Ohio Farm Girl says gas has gone down in my area. Jimmy Hoffa says, I'm getting the gas station, fill my own tank. I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. But I hope that it's cheaper in your area. We have here, Karen Catmom says, talked to PT302 a few minutes ago. He is doing great. He made it all the way to his cruise ship. Oh, that's nice. In Fort Lauderdale. His passport had expired, so they wouldn't let him board. Oh, that's terrible. That sucks. Brad, today, 335 on Main Street. Love to hear it. Would love that lower, though. Love to go back down to $2. I don't know if that's a wishful thinking, but that'd be nice. Diesel is what affects what we eat and buy. Exactly right. Well, the weird thing is diesel used to be one of the most cheaper forms of gas, but for some reason it's turned around and been one of the most expensive forms of gas. So yeah, you got to get diesel down. That's for sure. Secretary Howard Lutnick says in 1980, we were a net investor, meaning we owed more of the rest of the world than we owned of us. And now they own 18 trillion of us net. And eventually we're not going to own America, and we're going to be owned by the rest of the world. I mean, there's some truth to that. I mean, the language is a little bit wonky, but I understand what he's trying to say here.
To reset the power of the United States of America and reset it against all our allies and our enemies alike. The idea that all the countries of the world can run trade surpluses with America and buy our things with us. Remember, $1.2 trillion. In 1980, we were a net investor, meaning we owned more of the rest of the world than they owned of us.
Yeah, it's a different world. It's a different market.
Now they own $18 trillion of us net. So that means the rest of the world, every year when we run a $1.2 trillion deficit, the rest of the world buys $1.2 trillion of America, and it goes up and up and up. And eventually, we're not going to own America, and we are going to be owned by the rest of the world. Imagine if we had a war and we can't build a ship, we can't fly a plane, we can't build our own planes, we don't have our own semiconductors. This is what the president is here to fix for America. It's in his hands, and he wants to fix America. This is his chance to fix America, and we need him to fix it for our children and our grandchildren.
And that goes back to kind of what I've been pointing out here. Let me pull it up here. You know, what kind of America do we want to leave our children and our grandchildren? This is what we're leaving them right now. Right now, we are leaving our grandchildren, our children, $323,000 that's owed to the federal government. And for some reason, nobody sees that as a problem. We have to start cutting. It has to happen at some point. You can't keep spending like this. You can't keep acting like knuckleheads over there in Congress. It's $100,000 per U.S. citizen. I don't know about you. Most people have nowhere near this. I think the average baby boomer who's now retired has on average $10,000 or less saved, and they're in retirement right now. That's a massive problem. That's a huge problem. And when you have it continually going up with no offset really taking place, well, that leads for drastic consequences. Now, there's rumors out there that we could take out 100 trillion and still be okay. I don't believe that one bit. You need to stop. You need to start cutting. And most of the cutting needs to happen within our social programs. As you could see, our social programs far outpace our defense, which is the number one wrong answer I get when I taught finance for almost 5 years. I would always ask, what is the number one thing we spend on as a government? Every year, almost 100%. I would say I think the math was like 98% of students would say defense and war. Nobody almost picked social programs. Vast majority of our money is going to social programs. That's where things need to be cut. It is bad. It is relentless, and it's going to cripple our country. And for anybody that says otherwise, explain these numbers then to me as to how this isn't going to cripple. It is not a good thing. People own our asses, basically. We'll keep it at that. So big things need to happen here. So basically, this is not offsetting. Saving the taxpayer $2,500 compared to $100,000 ain't doing nothing, really. Now, should we keep doing it? Absolutely. But these numbers need to be way bigger, just way bigger. So we'll make sure we keep up to date on that. But I don't think this money is going to change in our lifetime. I sure hope it does, because That's not a right thing to do, is leave our other generations with nothing but debt, nothing but crippling debt. Not to mention they already have crippling debt. They can't buy a house. I can't buy a house. Things are too expensive. It's just, it's truly wild, truly, truly wild. Folks, a Cracker Box house in the state of California goes for like $1.2 million. Okay, in Orange County, let me give you the real numbers here. In Orange County, California, to buy a home correctly, which this is from the Orange County Register, without even it being correctly, I follow Dave Ramsey, so I do everything to a T. Their numbers are wrong, so it's actually need more money than this, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt when I explain this. To buy a house in their minds correctly in Orange County, California, does anybody know how much you have to have in household income per year to buy a house in Southern California? So let's go to the chat. How much money, household income, that means you and your wife, hell, throw grandma in there. How much money as a household, according to the Orange County Register, do you need to make to afford a house reasonably? Let me know. Let's go to the chat here. I wish I had like the music, the Price is Right music. I would play it, but we would get flagged by YouTube because they're a bunch of commies. You get flagged for anything and everything on YouTube. So Karen says $125,000 household income. Lulu says 500,000. Let's see what the Patriots say. HK says 225. I feel like some of you are Googling this. Outdoor living, 250. Jeff says 3 million household income. Blue states are running higher gas prices, and Michigan recently found out we get out electricity from Canada. Yes, that is correct, Michelle. Our gas prices are really expensive because we have double blend. We also have a massive gas tax, like insane gas tax. So it's just to let you know, it's $425,000 you need to make as a household income in the state of California to reasonably own a house. By the way, that number isn't anything close to what you actually need if you really wanted to do personal finance correctly. Talk about hundreds of thousands of dollars more than that, meaning it is not feasible to own land or property in the state of California because of everything that's going on with our economy. People my age can't afford a house. So massive issues that we have here as a nation that are long-term effects that nobody wants to talk about. So not only is there going to be crippling debt because you have to pay for that tax at some point, because our interest is going to be bonkers that we're going to have to pay. Well, folks, where do you get that money? Because you just can't print it. They're going to tax us up the wazoo. And you know what? When taxes increase, I can't blame our government for doing it. And that's coming from a fiscal conservative that doesn't want really any taxes. You have to pay off that debt, and we get to thank everybody else that came before us for imposing that type of crippling debt upon us. I guessed I did not Google it. I don't believe you. Karen Catmon says, oh my God, I was so wrong. I am so glad I purchased my condo 32 years ago. Bought it for $180K. It's now $700,000. Yeah, a condo in Southern California, depending on where you look, is about $800,000 to $1 million, depending. Just a condo. Anywho, not to mention the fact that in 2023, the median household income in the United States was about $81,000. Just a heads up. So again, in 2023, the median household income in the entire United States was $81,000. That means mom and dad are making combined about $81,000. Well, we have here another gentleman, Tuberville, says the first president that's really stood up and said enough of other countries ripping us off. So here he is on Fox News.
And that the president's overall plan will protect consumers at the end of the day.
100%. You know, we're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain. There's a lot of people that are a little skeptical, but we have to change course. We cannot continue to do the same thing. It's like playing football. If you keep running the ball up the middle and you're not getting any traction, you got to start throwing the ball. That's what President Trump's doing. He's a businessman. He's the first president that's really stood up and say enough of other countries ripping us off. Just in my state of Alabama, catfish farmers are going under because Vietnam is dumping billions of trash catfish and shrimp into our state, and they're going under. We are in huge trouble, and we have to change course. And we have 5 car manufacturers in our state, and they're really not concerned because it's going to help them sell more cars in this country. Eventually, these cars will go out of the country and will be bought by Europe, which buys hardly any of our cars made in this country.
Well, why would they buy our cars if our cars are so expensive? Yeah, you can't blame the consumer over in Europe for not wanting to buy a Ford because a Ford is so expensive when they can buy their own vehicle for cheaper. Why would it be cheaper? Gee, I wonder. We might have just covered some of it earlier. So it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to seems to be a lot of people. Now, trying to figure out where that. I got so many tabs open. But we have this here. I wanted to see this. Now, I've been sitting on this for a while. There's an unhinged charter captain boat. We're taking a massive deviation from tariffs, by the way. I told you, it's kind of just an off-the-brand, shoot from the hip type of stream today. I didn't really have anything prepared. Just wanted to come and hang out with you guys and hope that's okay. Hope it's okay that Brad just wants to come and hang out with you every once in a while. We have here a charter captain boards boat to berate young fishermen in a viral video. I saw a short clip of this, and I didn't really know. I'm trying to fix the quality here. I didn't really know if it was legit or not. Brando says, well, earlier when you I think you mean misspoke, Yen, for one, it's because you're live, not because of the internet. And that's what I meant. I was just correcting you. You guys always have to correct me. You got my back. You got my 6. Like, I'm a human being too. I make mistakes. Guys, I've always told you I'm an idiot. I can only be so clear that I am not more intellectual than any of you are. I just have a camera and microphone. I'm an average Joe American, so I cannot specify that enough. I am really not that smart of a guy. So please, I will never pretend to be. And if it's coming across like I am, please know that, yeah, I'm just normal guy, just here in a closet. So here it is. Let's check this out. Turn up the audio here for all of you.
Please, bro.
Listen, I'll put on my headphones too.
What, like 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cussing me out?
Nah, that was the dude in that boat. Were you the one that came through the middle of the bridge? Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I was here, but you ran in front of the other dude over there.
You were cussing me out, dude.
Bro, you ran right through the middle of the bridge while we were all fishing.
In the middle of the night, the guy didn't have any lights on.
Bro, we were all fishing here.
Have any lights on?
All right, bro, I'm not gonna do this with you, bro. I'm not gonna do this with you, bro. Like, it's not the right time, bro.
You know the laws?
Bro, you can't come flying through the middle of the bridge, bro.
Yes, I can.
All right, bro. What are you trying to do, bro?
What am I trying to
What are you trying to do, bro?
You want to go?
I don't want to go. I want you to get the out of here.
Big tough guy?
Tough guy? You pulled up on me, mother.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What about it?
Not fishing, you like, bro, get out of here. Like, what? What are you trying to do? Act like a tough guy in front of your buddies?
No, I'm not. Dude, all these no, I'm tough.
Bro, all right, bro.
You know what?
Get going, bro.
We're all war veterans. We're all Rangers.
Well, thank you for your service, bro.
And you're going to talk shit.
Thank you for your service, bro. But that doesn't give you the right. All right, bro. All right, whatever. I appreciate you for your service, bro. But you don't got to run through the middle of the bridge, bro.
Dude, if your guy doesn't have his lights
That's
on,
not my guy, bro. That's just another dude, bro.
you have to have lights on.
My lights were on, bro. My lights were on.
Somebody hits you, guess what the happens? You die, nothing happens to me.
Right, okay, bro. Keep thinking that.
No, that's the truth, dude.
All right, bro. Keep thinking that.
Put your lights on.
Bro, my lights were on. I wasn't sitting there. Okay, that's not my dude, bro.
Cost me the for it.
Bro, I said, bro, you almost hit him. The other dude was you out.
I almost hit him because he didn't have his lights on.
Bro, you shouldn't come flying through the middle of the bridge. You know people fish here, bro.
Dude,
I'm sorry, man. I don't know if that's what you want to hear, bro.
Yeah, you should apologize.
But bro,
More than you can possibly fathom in your water.
me too, bro. I'm out here all the time, bro.
I'm 300 days a year on the water.
All right, bro.
Every day, I'm the best charter captain you'll ever meet in your mother.
All right, bro.
Cuss me out.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro.
Don't hit the
Please, okay, please, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. Bro, I'm a kid, bro. Please.
Apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
You're gonna cuss me the
All right, bro.
in the middle of the
No, bro. Please, bro. Please,
Get back to my
bro.
boat.
Okay. Please.
Apologize.
I'm sorry, bro. That was not me, bro.
Yes, it was,
I know I
motherfucker.
was here, but my buddy was
Take
on the
me
boat.
back to my fucking
Sir,
boat.
I'm a kid, bro. Please, bro.
I don't care. You don't cuss me
Yes,
the out
All
and
right.
talk shit to me, mother.
Yes, sir.
You don't do it.
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't like cussing you out
Yes,
though, bro.
you were, dude.
I was driving the boat.
Did
Okay.
you not call me a
No, bro.
Yes,
that
you
was
did,
that was
motherfucker.
my friend on the. Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry, bro.
That was your friend on the boat.
I'm sorry, bro.
Your friend, I'll look at it and cut
Yes,
on
sir.
your both up.
Yes, sir.
Do it again and watch what fuck. Get back on this boat. Don't again.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, bro. Like I appreciate y'all, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Fuck with the wrong.
Bro. Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, that guy that was going off was getting major pushback, and rightfully so. And people found him on social media, and if he truly is a charter boat, which I speculate that he's not, and I could be wrong, but kind of a a-hole, huh? What do you guys think of that guy in the chat? You know what's weird is the kid, I don't know how old the kid was. The kid was like, it wasn't even me, and the guy's going off on him for some other dude not having his lights on and some other dude cussing him out. It doesn't even make sense. I don't know. It's just like, well, I'm a veteran. First of all, it's kind of like, what do you even say to that? Okay, that doesn't give you a right to act like a jackass. Well, I fought for this country. Yeah, everybody appreciates that. But again, it doesn't give you a right to act like an idiot. I was a veteran. I'm out here for 300 days a year. Like, who fucking cares, dude? Like, who fucking gives a shit? Like, what the hell? The kid was scared, rightfully so. Nowadays, you don't know who's going to, knock you out. You fall in the water, you drown. Those guys take off. Nobody's ever going to figure out what the hell happened to you again. People are crazy nowadays, man. People are off their rocker. We have this other clip here where there was an illegal undocumented immigrant, and we'll talk more about this in the morning tomorrow. But an anti-Trump activist boasts of being undocumented, unafraid, queer at rally. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this, where illegal immigrants will pridefully take to the streets and start protesting as if they have rights here in the United States, as if that First Amendment right really holds dear to their heart, where, let's be real, it doesn't hold that dear to their heart because they're killing our women and children left and right all over the country. An undocumented immigrant attending an anti-Trump hands-off rally on Saturday said that she was unafraid to flash her immigration status and sexual orientation publicly. Quote, I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed. A longtime left-wing immigration activist told those in attendance at Washington, D.C. demonstrations over the weekend, according to the New York Post. The comments come as protests against the Trump administration immigration and cost-cutting policies have spread across the country in recent days. See, the media is making it seem, mind you, this is Fox News, but they're making it seem like these protests and these cost-cutting policies are something the American people don't want, when in actuality the American people voted for this thing. Trump's approval ratings allegedly have only gone up, by the way. So people I don't understand what the left is complaining about. People voted for all of this. We're all ecstatic in the chat, by the way, that Donald Trump is president. I think there's very few of us that are actually upset with what Donald Trump is doing. They're making it seem like Republicans are turning their backs on Trump. Conservatives hate the guy. Nope. We love him even more. We are so giddy for the guy. It's remarkable, but you know, they can't process that. Nor can they process a lot of things. They really can't. It's a mind-blowing thing. We see it every day. We talk about it every day. But the wires are crisscrossed. They're crazies, folks. Matter of fact, you know what? We'll come back to this real quick. I just want to show you how crazy these people truly are. Let me see if I could find the clip for you really quick. Yeah, here we go. So these are the people. Okay, these are the people that voted for Joey and that we're supposed to take seriously. Everybody listen up. We're supposed to listen to these people here and take them as intellectuals and people that really know what they're talking about. So lend them your ears, folks.
To the criminal charge of rape. He is credibly alleged of having raped a 14-year-old girl. Is that what you want for your president?
Absolutely not.
Right? No,
yeah, which one are you guys talking about?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
You're good, my friend. You're good.
I was talking about our alleged president, our fascist, Nazified, idiot, moronic.
The Mango Menace?
Break our NATO alliance. Turn our allies against.
Oh, thank God it gave us a pause. This is one of the few times that they actually knew that, hey, we needed a breather here for a moment. Because
steal our money, throw 71 million people off Medicaid that people depend on. 71 million people. Is this what you want? Do you want money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women and abused children? Is that what you believe? Stand up and say it, fascist. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
A round of applause for that right there. He has been waiting a while for that. Yeah, that was great. What do you think about the vandalism that's going on at Tesla dealerships around the country? And we're not the TV, so you can say whatever you want.
You know, I still for no violence unless we're pushed. I mean, they want us to do violence so they can declare martial law. So that's why I'm against the violence. They are police officers? Okay. Do you want my name?
What are you guys out here protesting today? What's the #1 thing to be anti-Elon for?
Stop the oligarchy. We want Americans. He's not elected, and he has no business doing what he's doing. We don't want the billionaires taking over our country.
Are you trying to? Oh, let me get you on Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah, we're stopping the oligarchy. That's what it's all about.
Did you feel that way?
They pit American against American so that they can pick our pockets.
Did you feel that way when Kamala Harris actually got more donations from more billionaires than Trump did?
I felt like I had a buffer, at least, with the Democrats. Now we have no buffer. Okay, so at least we were fooled with Kamala in there, that we're going to be on a slow bleed, and now we're on the, take it right. I'm living on Social Security, and for the first time...
This girl is interviewing people who know...
My name's Jenna.
Also, Jenna, I'd like to mention that Social Security is not an entitlement. It's something that put in 8% of every one of my paychecks. My employer put in 8%. They did not give me a retirement account because they said you have a government retirement.
Evidently.
Okay.
Look how serious they are.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make money.
Wow.
Who are they here for anyway? It's like someone hired them because they're routinely attacked at events or something.
Yeah, if I was Tesla, I would hire security. I don't blame them. I've had companies in the past where things happen. I hire security.
Yeah, or perhaps just a little girl who films YouTube videos that gets attacked at these types of events. So would you publicly denounce...
Remember, you're supposed to listen to those people. They're not well, man. I'm telling you, that entire party is not well. They're mentally just really, really far gone, guys. I mean, look, how many clips do we got to show you over the years? I mean, we could probably do a 24-hour podcast in a stream, just endlessly clip after clip after clip of these people that are just deranged. There's another one. I did a book signing here for Frank and Jen, Beach and Seal Beach. And this is kind of what goes on at their store. I was just here literally last weekend at Beach and Seal Beach, and that's where some of you I think might have found me. We did a bunch of shorts with them, but this is people coming into their store just acting like knuckleheads.
Men have no business beating up ladies in sports. Men have no business in the ladies' restroom. How about that? Yep.
That's Frank, by the way. That's the owner.
That's why he does it. That's his business. Mind your own business.
What'd you say?
I said mind your own business. Stop yelling about things over here. I said mind your own business. Don't worry about things over here. You're yelling about somebody's business out here. Don't worry about it. Who cares what he's doing?
If I didn't have this cane, I'd knock your fucking head.
What that guy's doing has nothing to do
Fuck
with
you!
You let him do what he
Fuck
does.
you!
Fuck you, old man. Let him do what he does. Men do not
He's an
belong in women's
asshole.
sports.
He's wrecking our country. You
Men do not belong in women's
He's
sports.
wrecking our
He
fucking
ain't
country.
wrecking shit. You
fucking
fucking
asshole.
leftists wreck this country, asshole. Fuck you, old man. If you're 20 years younger, I'd fuck you up. I fucking would. Put that cane down. Fuck you. See that? Kill you. Men do not belong in women's sports. Dudes beating up chicks isn't right. It's not. Fucking A. That's what he's fixing.
Guy's an asshole.
No. Men in women's sports is assholes.
I can't believe
Men pissing next to ladies is assholes. He's fixing that. Go about your business. I told you. Leave me the fuck alone. I told you to walk by and shut up. No, you can't. What would you do, motherfucker? You ain't gonna kill shit. Shut up. Go on out of here. Don't threaten me. If you're fucking 20 years, 30 years, 40 years younger, I'd still fuck you up. Even if you're in your 20s. Get the fuck out of here. Don't threaten to kill me with that fucking cape. You and that fucking Al Green, folks, get your ass whooped with those canes. Fucking retard.
So, we'll give them a shout out here really quick. Frank and Jen are absolutely amazing. I try to go to their store as often as I can to say hi. They're down in Seal Beach, California. Here's their website, you guys. If you ever want to buy merch, you should check out their merch. They got a lot of great stuff over there. They were kind enough to sell my book inside their store. We sold all the copies, by the way. I thought maybe we would sell 2. No, I sold every single book I had. Actually, it's remarkable. I don't know. Anyways, just an awesome. So they had one recently that just happened. And I want to post that. And here's actually a little bit of what their store looks like from the outside. So I guess there's people. So now they got people standing out front of their store, just acting like some knuckleheads. So what does it say? Trump pardons 1,500 January 6 rioters involved in the injury of 140 law officers. Think he cares about cops. Cops love him. I mean, the entire police force absolutely loves Trump. So I got to mute it because it's going to flag me for the audio. But here he comes out.
So if you'd like to keep doing what you're doing, we need you to go on the break. Look it up. Appreciate you. No problem. If you can do me a favor.
Now you're blocking the
Now you're
sidewalk.
blocking the sidewalk, and there's a section that says you can't block.
Seal Beach Police Department.
You want to step on the brake further out where you're not going to be on the flow of pedestrians. Would a good alternative be like they turn that perpendicular to the street instead of like...
No, because that's my area too, where it's all...
Or rather parallel.
Here, I can put this.
Like open.
It's in my section now. There we go. It's in my section. Go back over there.
Yeah, you're gonna section working with you. So
Okay, there you go.
So I can't stand there.
Nope, it's mine too.
Property of the,
And then this is taped off from my property too. And then that is their property over there. So you're good right there. Like I told you a couple hours ago.
Appreciate your cooperation, and you too.
Thank you. It was a simple. I told you this a couple hours ago, dude.
It's just leave it at
The bricks, you're on the property line. Get off the property line.
So Frank does have a property line that's right outside. He's asked a while ago if we want to do a podcast down there. If that's something you guys are interested in, me sitting down with Frank and doing a podcast out in Seal Beach, let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. And we can absolutely do that. Do a sit down with Frank and somehow stream it live. I don't know how we would do it, but we could definitely try to do that for a little bit. That'd be kind of fun. But he gets a lot of crazy people down at his store just shouting and screaming and acting like a bunch of knuckleheads just coming into the store. This one was the one that happened recently where you get a Gen Z, a little knucklehead coming in here and shouting.
All you guys fucking suck. You fucking suck.
Thank you.
Look at the stock market. Look at the stock market right now. You guys are all brainwashed. You're fucking idiots.
Mind you, that wasn't even Frank there or Jen, I believe, in the store. That was just their employees that work there. So there's people coming into their store. I should say people, progressive lefties harassing their employees. By the way, I would imagine their employees are maybe Trump supporters, but you never know. They could for all be just Democrats themselves, just trying to make the living in an honest, putting bread on the table. And you got these psychos coming in screaming at them all the time. So big supporters of Beach and Seal Beach. And that's right there on Main Street in Seal Beach, California. They're probably, 100 yards from the pier, 200 yards from the actual ocean. They got a really nice setup over there. Really lovely. Frank and Jen, always a shout out. Just great people. Just really, really great people. And as you can see, Frank don't put up with shit, man. Frank is physically thrown people out of his store. We've covered it here on the show. He's physically thrown people out of his store. Absolutely doing wonders. But back to her. Kind of went on a tangent because I want to show you the type of people these lefties, these progressives, these crazies really are. Her comments were made in front of tens of thousands of protesters who attended the rally in the nation's capital, one of more than 1,000 protests held around the country. Ooh, big deal. The report notes that Rosa's comments quickly went viral on social media where not all users were enthusiastic about her message. Deport her now, one user said on X. Lock her up, another said. Others quibbed about that her public declaration was likely to land her on the radar of U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, I would imagine so. Quote, they only think she didn't tell ICE is her home address. I'm confident they can look that up. Oh, absolutely. Quote, I guess we will see her arrested later this week. Thanks for coming forward to let ICE know where you are. Well, Kash Patel and Tom Homan, let's see if they actually pounce on that one and get her arrested, because the last person that we covered here was an illegal immigrant that was telling people to come into the country illegally and then take over Americans' houses and act as squatters. Well, he was deported a couple weeks ago. Now he's back home. So hopefully we don't have to see his ass in the United States any longer. We got Pat over here saying because the stock market is really affecting him, he still lives in his mom's house. Probably. I'd imagine you're talking about that dude that was the teenager, or I'd imagine a teenager coming in and acting like a knucklehead. Here's the thing with those teenagers, though. They'll just stab you on the spot or shoot you. They don't care, because there's no morality left inside these youngsters anymore. There's no faith inculcated in them. Their parents aren't parenting anymore. They went through an education system without a care in the world, and we're still passed through it. So they don't know jack shit. They're told that communism is good. Socialism isn't that bad. And these are the psychos that the education system's producing nowadays, as well as the parents in these leftist ran states. And California, specifically Southern California, is a lefty ran area. And that's why you get a lot of these psychos in Frank's store just shouting and screaming for absolutely no reason. Furthermore, that's why you have these entitled illegal aliens coming out. And I'd be curious where this Trump rally, anti-Trump rally really was. Let's see where this was at again. Was it Washington, D.C.? Yeah, Washington, D.C., which is also ran by a bunch of progressives. So they know that they're in a safe area where nobody's going to do any harm to them. And I'm not asking for physical harm, but just any sort of harm, like deporting them or whatever they want to classify as harm. And they know they're going to be good with it. In the same way, a lot of these psychos will go on college campuses and actually go out and protest in support of Hamas. And they'll verbally say that they want to get rid of the Jewish people, which is crazy. But then the same people that are supporting them are holding up saying Elon Musk is a fascist, deport Elon Musk. So it's okay to deport an actual American citizen, but it's not okay to deport an illegal immigrant that has no right to be here in the first place. This is their line of thinking. But as we saw from their psycho antics, it doesn't really surprise all of us whatsoever. You also have here, TikTokers are asking to 8645 or 47, depending on which poster they're saying. So what they're showing is I want to see if I get a screenshot here of their post. There we go, right here. This is what they're holding up. 8647. So if you didn't know what 86 meant, it's kind of like a street term for disposing of or removing somebody. I can't say the KILL word here, but they're talking about deleting somebody. This lady is actively asking for the assassination of a U.S. sitting president, which is bonkers, by the way. I would never call for this on the president or whoever's president, no matter if it's Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, I don't care who it is, but these people are unwell. These people are off the reservation. They are sick. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if they were kicked in the head many times. Not sure if they fell down a flight of stairs when they were a kid. I'm not sure what happened to them, but they are not well, folks. They are really, really deranged and sick. Here's another one. TikToker says she's going to do Donald Trump how they did JFK.
I told my mom I was gonna do Donald Trump how they did JFK, and she got mad at me and hung up on me.
And they think it's funny. But you have to understand something. As somebody that's with this last generation and observing them, you guys, please understand, when you talk about the Holocaust in the classroom, there are people that will laugh. They think it's funny. They think the extermination of millions of Jews is funny. They will laugh about it. They don't take it serious. When you talk about killing people or certain harmful things happening to others, this generation thinks it's funny. They just laugh it off. They think it's, and that's why they'll go up and punch you in the back of the head. That's why I always say, don't mess with anybody in the streets, you guys. Don't even bother talking about politics with anybody. That's why I am a hermit. I don't do on the street interviews. They will stab you. They will kill you. Doesn't matter what they do. That's why I got a lot of respect for like the girl we saw from Liberty going out there doing on the street interviews. You got Savannah Hernandez doing on the street interviews. James Klug doing on the street interviews. I won't do it without security. She has security there, but these people just come up and shoot you in a drive-by. That's why I don't do on the street interviews. I've thought about doing it, but it's too hostile of an environment in these lefty ran areas. Like I said, they'll just come out and just delete you. It doesn't matter. Well, here's an update, and we'll cover this again tomorrow morning, folks. But do you remember that Colorado bill that we were talking about, the HB 1312 bill, where if you misgender or use a different pronoun for your child, it's now to be deemed child abuse? Well, just want to let you know that it passed. So I want to be clear here. The Democrats in Colorado have completely shut down the debate. From my understanding, let me make sure I have this actually posted here. I want to try and find it for all of you. 1 second. I got a lot of stuff posted here. Holy Lordy. They passed the bill. So here it is right here. So this bill classifies misgendering, specifically misgendering your own child, is now considered child abuse, and it could cause you to lose custody of your kid, by the way, if you don't affirm your child's chosen gender.
For us is the passage of House Bill 1312. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1312 has passed. This is the question before.
If you were an early supporter of the Bald Brad Show, I would like to point out that we called this years ago. We were talking about this years ago, and here was us on Project Veritas 2 years ago. We were highlighting stuff so much about what they were doing in the education system that James O'Keefe actually followed and found our channel and posted me covering all the shenanigans that's going on. So here's a short clip of that.
This is in the middle of a proposed law putting limits on sex education in schools.
Well, thank God he's out of this school in this district, but who the hell knows where he's going to wind up next and indoctrinate those kids?
Well, our undercover Project Veritas journalists found him.
Parents, that's made some upset.
So there's the receipts. Like I mentioned, we had our 5 seconds of fame years ago with only like 100 subscribers or something small like that. But we were calling that stuff out early on. And I said, they're going to come for your kids. And when they start coming for your kids, you got massive problems on your hands. And now 2 years later, you're seeing it come to fruition. It is exactly how we called it. A lot of people said I was crazy. Oh, that will never happen. There's no way. No. It's here. So let's go further into the receipts itself, folks, because, you know, the Democrats, the crazies can't look this stuff up themselves. So we got to bring it up for them. Section 1 of the bill creates the Kelly Loving Act. Section 2 provides that when making child custody decisions and determining the best interest of a child for purposes of parenting time, a court shall consider dead naming, misgendering, or threatening to publish material related to an individual's gender-affirming healthcare services, as types of coercive control. A court shall consider reports of coercive control when determining the allocation of parental responsibilities in accordance with the best interests of the child. That's crazy, man. So now if Jimmy thinks he's Joanne, well, you got to affirm it, and you got to tell him that he is actually a little girl now. Crazy, man. We live in wacko times, dude. We live in ass backward. It's scary times too, man. Because now the crazies are telling you that if you don't affirm somebody else's craziness and delusions, that you're actually the crazy one and you should be locked up. That is a scary society to live in. That is a bonkers and freaky deaky society to be a part of. When you start giving the crazies control and they've left the insane asylum and they're the ones in power, they're going to throw your ass in the insane asylum and just keep promoting the insane stuff that they've been promoting. Boy, oh boy. That is effed. That is... So, GG to Colorado, man. If anybody's in Colorado, GG to you, because you just quite possibly maybe lost your kids. And please understand, too, if your kids don't like you as a parent, and by the way, the kids don't have to like you as your parent. You're the freaking parent. You're there to guide them and make sure they're making wise decisions and utilizing your wisdom that you've accumulated over the course of however many decades to guide them along life appropriately. They don't have to like you, but they need to listen to you at the end of the day. But nowadays, they're given so many protections and rights now against their parents that if they sit there and fuck with you, now they can go, he's not affirming my gender. No, I think I'm a girl. And now you see where that process goes. Now you just lost your kids. It's crazy, man. It is really, really bonkers. And here's the other bonkers thing that's going on. The left are just completely still losing their minds, where you have a transgender women reach final in women's pool championship at the Ultimate Pool Women's Pro Series event in United Kingdom. A transgender woman, Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith, were both born male, advanced to the final of the women's championship, defeating all female competitors in pool. It's not even a physical sport, and they're still just kicking the bleep out of the women. This has led to significant online discussion and criticism regarding the fairness of transgender women in competing in women's sports just in general. Now, if you look at men's dexterity and like what is it called? They're in pool, you got to hit the ball, right? I'm not doing justice in talking about this, but there's a specific term that I'm missing. But basically, men are more like straight shooters at the end of the day. We'll keep it at that. In terms of kind of their visual, their lining up, it's just better than women. Critics argue this situation undermines the integrity of women's sports by potentially giving biological males an unfair advantage, thus reducing opportunities for female athletics. The event has been described as a farce and an insult to women by some observers, highlighting ongoing debates about gender, sports, and competitive equity. So here's a little bit of what that looks like. 2 men competed in finals for the Ultimate Pool Series. So I guess men are making pool great again and competing in women's sports here. There was also most recently the fencing that took place where a woman backed out because there was a transgender man that was trying to fight her. So that was something that was going on. So here's that clip. We have the clip here where a female fencer takes a knee instead of competing against a biological male. USA Fencing disqualifies and expels her from the college tournament, even though her male counterpart, her male opponent, played for the men's team last year before switching to women's. So check this out. Here's that video. This went viral. Like a weird ringing. So this is the female taking the knee and not wanting to compete against a transgender person. And this is what the left wants, man. The left loves it. Mind you, none of the people in the left are wanting to, go up against a man themselves, but sure enough, they want other people to. So that was what was taking place, and that's what went viral over the weekend. So you have that clip here of the actual woman that took the knee, and she doesn't want any part of it. So here she was on Fox News just the other day.
Initially, I told them that I was refusing defense because this person is a man and I am a woman, and this is a women's tournament, and I refuse to defense on principle.
And then later, right after this, we see your opponent comes over. What did you say to your opponent at that point?
My opponent was a little bit confused, thinking that I was maybe hurt. And I said, no.
Just look at the size difference. Are you kidding me? Or are you hurt? No, it's just you're a freaking giant compared to this little girl. She looks tiny on TV, by the way.
Oh, I am refusing to fence you because I'm a woman and you are a man. I have much love and respect for you, but I will not compete against you.
Wow.
And he responded, okay, well, there's a, yes?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm sorry, what was his response?
His response was, okay, but there's a member of the board of directors here, and he supports me, and there's a policy that says that I'm a woman and I'm allowed to compete in the women's tournament, and if you do this, you're going to get black carded. And I said, I know.
I want to point something out here. In fencing, there is different leagues you can go into or different like classifications. This biological woman right here has only the option of competing in 2 events. So she can, they actually have a co-event where men and women can compete against one another. I think I have that right. Rather than this transgender person competing in the men and women or the men's one, he decides to compete against his biological woman. She doesn't have the option of competing in the, well, she has the option of competing men versus women, but she doesn't have the option to go outside of that, nor would you. This person has 3 options. You could do the men or the men and women. Why on God's green earth are you going to compete against women when you could do, like specifically women only, when you could do women and men at the same time? That's what she said. You have no idea in my mind how I had to formulate that joke. That took a lot of brain power and get that correctly in real time, unscripted. That was a hell of a joke and a transition. There you go again. No pun intended, baby. The way I had to weave and maneuver that statement to work out in my favor at the end, that deserves a like and subscribe and maybe a tip. I'm sure you can see my brain processing in real time how I'm going to maneuver this one. And it worked out. Oh boy, it worked out for us. Other things we have going on here. We have Benny Johnson has gone inside the Environmental Protection Agency. And well, mind you, they have 15,000 employees and an annual budget of $10 billion. And it is a complete ghost town inside their offices. There ain't anybody there. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the EPA. Let me give you an office tour. Come on in. No one's home. Got a very haunted mansion vibes, right? Her eyes just moved. I know it. Her eyes just moved. This museum to the EPA is how your taxpayer dollars were spent. $4 million to build a gift from Joe Biden. Hey, EPA, gotta water your plants. There might not be any federal workers, but there is lots of chipping paint here inside the EPA. This better not be lead paint or asbestos. Did you guys know that Greta Thunberg has her own mural here in the EPA? We had no idea.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
We have the Joe Biden
How dare you, you criminals!
Memorial, and we have a Greta Thunberg. Okay, all right, that's it. I'm done. Wait a second. You ever had to use this? Is this the Doge bat? You can tell me.
So the difference...
Where'd that money go? Are they protecting the environment around here? The grass looks kind of dead. I mean, I don't know. It's a little chunky. There's quite a bit of litter. I don't know, for the EPA. We're going to check in on the building here behind me. Is anybody home? What have they found? More importantly, what's Doge doing about all this? Seems like a nice building from the outside. Let's go check on what's going on the inside of the EPA today. Welcome to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. We're going to go into the building here in just a moment, but here at the entrance, there's something of note. This is the EPA Museum and Educational Center. This cost $4 million to build. A gift from Joe Biden to the EPA.
In the arms of the angel.
We're walking through the 5-building complex for the EPA. Tens of thousands of square feet. And as you walk through,
isn't that crazy?
You're able to look in and out of these offices. It's the middle of the day, in the middle of a work day, and there's no one here. Here, you can see the directory of everybody who's working today. There's been a problem with a little too much work from home that has created total ghost towns of the federal government buildings. And these buildings are incredibly expensive to maintain. But what you'll find is no one. Echo! Is anybody here?
Hello?
Is anyone home? Hey, let me give you an office tour. Come on in. Really vibrant in here. Gonna show you all of the things going on right now. There's a empty mail cart. Hey, EPA, you gotta water your plants, man. What's going on here? Look at this, poor guy. It's kind of like a ghost town. Like there was a rapture. Like some of the offices still have shoes in them, but you can tell they haven't been worn for like a decade. Everything else is gone. Nothing's been touched for 4 years since work from home started. Like an artifact, like Pompeii, right? Like, everything is as it was, and it's just abandoned. This is the memorial, actually, to Joe Biden at the EPA, which we think is touching, and we're thankful for them for reminding us, actually.
In a wheelchair.
It's just a monster binder from the year 2000 that's just sitting here on a windowsill. It sure used a generous amount of paper. This is like this is an entire tree.
Anyways, you kind of get the gist. There ain't anybody there, man. It's a ghost town, and we're paying for it. We're paying for it. But if you look at the other end of the spectrum, you want to know what isn't a ghost town. Well, it's leftist ran cities, and this is Denver, Colorado. The same Colorado that if you misgender or you don't gender affirm your child, well, you will lose custody. This is what that looks like. So we get flagged, but this is all tents. All tents. This is what downtown LA actually looks like. But LA is worse than this. LA is way worse than this. This actually looks nice compared to LA. So I'm going to pause it in a moment here. Okay, so you see what they have here? This is what I was telling you guys before. Now, I don't know if these are linked up, but let me explain this here because I know some of you might not know this. In LA, at least, I can't speak if this is actually what's taking place here. They'll have about 8 of these tents linked up, and sometimes they'll all be the same tent. They're about 8 to 10 people size tents, and they're different rooms. So just in the same way that you have a house, right? You have a living room, you have a kitchen, you have a sleeping area, a bedroom. These tents are the same way. So you'll walk in the front and that'll be like the entrance to it. There'll be couches in here. Sometimes there'll be like coffee tables, just like you see in a regular home. And then in here, you'll get into like another room. This might be like the kitchen area, or I've seen like full blown like gaming rooms inside here. So I'm talking like fresh gaming computers, $800 gaming chairs, full desks, carpet. There's rugs in there. And then, and what they're doing is they're stealing electricity and internet from the local areas here. And then you'll go in here and this could be the bathroom. Sometimes we'll have a tub in here or a makeshift shower. It's bonkers, you guys. It's the elaborateness that goes on in some of these tents is bonkers. Again, I'm not saying this is what this one is, but in LA, they definitely have that. They'll have full bedding. They'll actually have like the full furniture set that you would see from like IKEA, where you have like the post, you have the nightstand, you have your dresser drawers, you have lamps, everything. So that's what's going on inside here. It's crazy. This one does look actually linked up a little bit. And what they do is they steal the, like right here, they'll tap into this light pole right here and they'll pull the wires out and they'll take the electricity from it. And that's how they run everything. And just like LA, I'm sure a lot of you mentioned it's probably stinky. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad down there, but they're crazy. They are truly, truly out of their mind down there. And let's see if we can get into more craziness. I just love listening to these liberals and them lose their minds and showing you guys just how crazy these people are. There's a liberal protester here said she's devastated that the shooter didn't take out Donald Trump. I mean, this is how bonkers these people are. Is he dead yet? This is how deranged and sick these people are. By the way, if there was a Republican or conservative asking for Joe Biden to be harmed in any way, I would immediately tell them that they are crazy, they are bonkers, they are psychos, they shouldn't be a part of the Republican Party. You could say Republican all you want or conservative. You're not one. This lady's crazy.
Do you wish that guy
or guy, I don't know what the hell this is,
never missed?
Yes, 3 inches. Who would have ever thought that I would be so excited about, getting an additional 3 inches? But I really regret that he wasn't on the target.
You think another attempt will happen?
Oh, I sure hope so. I would never have guessed that I would wish for the demise.
It's crazy, man. These people they're unhinged. I hate using that word, but they really, really are crazy. And they love the homeless folks. They love the homeless crisis. They love the drugs. They love the fentanyl. They love the crime. This is what they want their cities to look like. They're all about this. This is what it looks like in Democrat-ran areas. They are all about it. It looks like, remember how I always told you when you walk around LA, it looks like an apocalyptic event? As if some natural disaster just took out and everybody had to go live on the streets because something took place. There's people in wheelchairs everywhere. It's crazy. That's Boston, by the way. That's Boston. It's just, it's endless, man. It's just endless stuff. There's this one video. I can't even show you this. There's at least here, I'll show you the image, but I can't play the video. There's a leftist person. This right here is a sex toy. Okay. YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. And this is Donald Trump. She is actively having intercourse with a Trump doll. These people aren't well. These people are deranged. These people are sick. There is something wrong with them. She's wearing a strap on and she's doing stuff to a fictitious Trump doll. And I can't show you it because YouTube will take me down. So YouTube supports this stuff. But at the same time, it's not okay to show it. That doesn't make any sense to me. But as you're seeing, these people are unhinged. They are crazy. They will harm you, folks. They don't like you. They think that you're a Nazi. It's bonkers to me. And here's another. Here's another one. Think about the amount of time this person had to spend making this. Rather than making something that would make this country better, this person, which by the way, good makeup, clearly has talent, just putting it in the wrong place. You really try to make any sort of sense of the crazies. Here's another one. And we're going to keep going through these because I think it's important to highlight how gone these people are.
Just past the Dunkin' Donuts, which is the most...
All right, we're going to pause here. If you had to guess, male or female, just take a guess. Let's go to the chat. See what the chat has to say. We're pretty good. We're pretty good at this guessing game. Now, you don't get the peek between the legs. You have to guess just off what you're seeing and hearing. I'll play it, but we'll go to the chat.
Big possible location I could possibly give you in Massachusetts. But besides being near a Dunkin' Donuts, which places me somewhere in Massachusetts, I mentioned I'm at the Hands Off Boston March, and it is the slowest march I have ever been in, and I could not be more happy about that, because that means that the streets between the park and City Hall are entirely filled with people who are here because they're very angry about what's going on, about Trump and fascism trying to take this wonderful country with all these wonderful people, and there are great chants going on. And immigrants welcome here, trans people are welcome here, trans kids are welcome here. This is fucking Massachusetts, kid. Get your fucking hands off of it. All right, I'll say hi some more later, if I can manage to post this. Bye!
Do you notice they always have to highlight the children? Do you guys notice that? They're coming for your children. You're seeing it in Colorado. I don't know how much more I could be vocal about this. These people want to do nothing but sell your kids off into forced labor, sex trafficking, sex slavery. We've seen under Joe Biden, Joey sniffs kids. You are, I don't know. They're just openly admitting it now that they want to trans your kids. They want to go after your kids, and they're going to do it manipulatively. And in some cases, they'll just do it right out there in the open. They're insane. And some of these people are just clearly paid. Some of them aren't, but some of them are. These paid protesters have no idea why they even go out and protest, by the way. They just want a paycheck. They can't get a real job. And so they're out here just protesting, say that Donald Trump's a fascist. He'll be the first fascist in history of mankind to want to lower the government budget and downsize the size of government. The first fascist ever, but you would never find that from a fascist. But these people are so deranged. They're so far gone, they don't know what the hell's going on.
So what makes Trump a fascist? What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
Yeah, talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really good into interviews stuff like that.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants, and not following laws, or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
But your sign says he's a fascist, and I'm just curious what makes him a fascist.
One of the things is that he's trying to control the media, right?
Say that again?
He's trying to control the narrative.
How is he trying to control the media? Doesn't every president try to control the narrative?
They try to control their own narrative, but one of the things that Trump's has done, for example, is the renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and then not allowing the Associated Press to come into the White House. Basically,
This guy's an idiot. This guy's an actual idiot. I don't throw that word around loosely. By the way, they're actually allowed to be. They're in the White House press briefing room. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Zeke Miller is with the Associated Press. He sits in the fucking middle of the aisle in the front row. He's there. Associated Press is right there in the front, dude. They're in the White House. What you're referring to is they're not allowed to go into the Oval Office, which is a privilege. It's not a right.
I'm trying to get.
What are your feelings about him renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America when a majority of the Gulf is, in fact, on the coast of America as opposed to Mexico?
I mean, it's kind of pointless. People.
Is it pointless?
Yeah, people call it the Gulf of Mexico. What's the
Don't
point
you think
of
it could have
changing
a
the name?
positive tourism impact potentially?
Tourism has been down heavily.
So I don't want to get into a tourism debate. My question is, the sign says the fascist Trump regime must go.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious what makes him a fascist. You pointed out that maybe something about his relationship with the media, he wants to control it, but
yeah.
How? Again, you're calling him a fascist.
Yeah, well,
what makes him a fascist?
One of the core tenets.
Let's give a shout out to Wonder Bucket over there on Rumble. Notice how there's never a lineup around the block of drag queens wanting to read to the elderly or blind. Just want to read to your kids. You are exactly correct. And welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Make sure you check out our morning podcast where it's actually formal and we go over a bunch of different news. Today is just chatting and hanging out. It's an odd day for us. Normally we don't even stream on the weekends, but we are doing this. So we'd love to have you in the mornings, Wonder Bucket, and hit that follow button. Follow us and hang out in the chat. We'd love to see you.
Tenets of fascism is creating an enemy, right? And blaming those problems on
What's
the enemy.
that?
Oh, yeah,
So
the paper gave me, yeah.
Who gave you that?
The people that gave me the sign. It's a free sign.
Oh,
somebody just gave him the sign. Oh, lovely.
Someone gave you the sign, and then they gave you the handout. So are you reading it now to try to answer the question?
Yeah, but I mean...
Can I see that? Can you hold that up?
I'm just not...
I'm just curious.
You can have it.
I can have it?
Yeah, you can have it.
defeating Trump / MAGA fascism, looking to some future elections or working now to mobilize millions around this powerful unifying demand. The Trump fascist regime must go. Let's see if I can get a better image.
Alrighty.
This is Bob, some revolution number 114. People are turning out all over the country in rallies and demonstrations in big cities and small, blah, blah. Something against Trump and his Nazi saluting hitman, Elon Musk, which he didn't Nazi salute. He was pouring his heart out to the people. It's amazing. See, they know. They just act stupid and pretend like he was doing a Nazi salute. Give me a break.
So where did you get the sign?
All the way in the gatekeeper's house.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool.
And that's another one? They gave you 2 pieces of paper?
Yeah.
Can I have that one too?
Yes, you can have both.
Oh, okay. So what brings you guys out here today?
Just because I saw people were hanging out with people.
Same thing as everyone else, executive overreach.
Oh.
Wow. And they're bussing them in, by the way. They are bussing all these people in. Laura Loomer had footage of it. Now, this is for Washington, D.C., but they're doing it all over the place. They're bussing these people in for anti-Israel protests and, wearing the same stuff that Hamas wears. That's just lovely. Just bussing them in. So who's funding all this? That's the question. Who's pouring all their money into this and paying for all these buses? Because they ain't cheap.
Yeah, Trump sucks, right?
They ain't cheap. Makes you wonder, is it George Soros? Look at all these people. I shouldn't say all these people, like it's a lot, but apologize for the quality. It's just the nature of X. Figure it out, Elon. I think it might be Soros as well. I don't know. It's odd as hell, nonetheless. But I mean, we saw them doing this. Kamala Harris did it. It's not the only time we've seen them get bussed into his, Biden's rallies or speaking engagements. And you have one of the speakers at the anti-Trump protest in Washington, D.C. yesterday was Sarah Parker. And, this is it's a little bit of what she had to say. Let's see this intellectual here.
I want you guys to do a little chant. There are organizers that have never organized in their life right now in the streets. When I say 50-50, I want you to say one. 50-50. 50-50. 50-50. My name is Sarah Parker. I am the executive director of Voices of Florida and a 50-51 national organizer. But most importantly, I'm a mother.
I hate doing it. You know what? I could say a lot here. I could say a lot. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take the high ground. No, Patriots. I'm taking, we're going into a new week. I'm taking the high ground. It's too easy. I'm not doing it, okay? I am not doing it. I know you want me to. But 5150. It's like they're playing bingo. B51. B52. B50. Sorry, C50. 8. I don't know. Bingo. They don't know what the hell is going on. Neither does the panel over at either at CNN. I'm just going to let this play. This is Scott Jennings. You know we have to show at least one Scott Jennings clip every live because the guy's a freaking national treasure.
I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott, stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes. You cannot continue to say you cannot say that. That's not the case. Who's the source of that?
What I find, we reported it on this network.
Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 60.
Who reported those numbers? Where are you getting that from? He's like, you fucking guys reported on it yourselves. They don't even know their own station. CNN doesn't even watch their own news station. Let that one sink into what we just saw. CNN doesn't even watch their own stuff.
5% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
I heard what you
So CNN doesn't even watch CNN. CNN doesn't even have a clue what the heck is going on right now. You couldn't write it even if you wanted to. You couldn't even script it out. Where are you getting those numbers from? How could you possibly come up with that? It sounds like bullshit. You guys were the ones that came up with it. You all ran that on your own television. You ran it on your own network. Freaking bonkers, man. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Brad, sir, are you taking this next week off? I will be off the 18th. I will stop streaming on the 17th, basically. So maybe the 16th. So that's why I got to stream quite a bit these next 10 days, because we got to get the hours in, baby. But I'll definitely announce the day that I will stop streaming, because I'm going on a week-long vacation. But definitely by most likely the 17th. So the 16th will probably be the last day. And I think that's a Wednesday, I think. Will probably be my last stream. If not, the last stream for sure will be the 17th, the morning of the 17th. So we'll see. I'm going to try to do the morning of the 17th, but we'll see. You guys will know. But yeah, I will be off after that for a week. Your boy's leaving. Going lights out. Lights out. I rarely go on vacations. Did you know I took it? There was like I think it was 7 to 10 year stretch that I didn't take a single vacation. My first vacation, I think, like legit vacation from work, was probably 2 years ago. Was when I took and it was a 3-day vacation, I believe it was. And then the following year we went on a 4-day vacation. Yeah. So I think it's due. I think I'm due for a week. Yeah, we are going somewhere fun, but I don't want to put it out on the internet. Oh boy, let's go also to the chat here. Again, we're on just chatting. My screen is on dark mode. That's where your screen should be. It should always be on dark mode. Dixie Dogs, good to see you. I even remember when CNN used to it's really tiny. Hold on, that's what she said. I even remember when CNN went to Vegas a few years ago, attend a hackers convention, showed the voting machines could be hacked. Several years later, they said it couldn't be done. You know what's funny is you also remember that clip that we showed of CNN showing somebody actually harvesting ballots and shoving them into the election. Let me see if we can find that clip. There was a guy that was showing this. Here it is. Is this clip right here? This is awesome. Watch this.
The only ballot drop box in Cuyahoga County, Ohio. You can see this woman right here casting her vote. Did you vote for Reagan or Jimmy Carter? Carter, okay.
Look at all those ballots, man. Just stuffing the thing full. Oh my gosh, you can't make it up. You really can't. It just gets crazier and crazier as the time goes on. The world keeps getting crazier and crazier. You know, just when we thought that Donald Trump was going to bring things back and normalize things again, the left is doing everything they possibly can to keep things crazy. Thank you. We haven't been anywhere in years. Well, it's tough. You know, when Joe Biden drives the country into the ground, it makes things a little bit harder. Steamcat says, how will the Democrats react when things are turned around by our Trump? They'll just make and lie. They'll just make stuff up and lie, like they're doing with the eggs. Egg prices aren't down, but to them, you know, it's still up. It's crazy. They'll just make stuff up. Look, remember, we did a YouTube short today, and we talked about all the hoaxes that they made up. I went over the top 15 hoaxes that they made up over the course of years, from the Russia hoax to the Border Patrol agents whipping illegal immigrants. Like all those hoaxes, they're just going to completely fabricate stuff again. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because now that Doge has gone in effect and found all this fraudulent spending that they're giving to these news outlets to push out their narrative and their propaganda, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And you're kind of seeing the outgrowths of what Doge is doing by making it more difficult for these media outlets to be in cahoots with one another and get the funding from whoever the hell they were getting it from, because Doge won't release it to us. They just know that they're cashing the checks to these media outlets. But the FBI was in cahoots with the Biden administration pushing these same lies. We saw that with the Hunter Biden laptop. So they'll try to fabricate stuff in the same way. The new fabrication that's going on right now is with bots on the internet. So there's these fake accounts that are pushing this idea that Republicans and conservatives are leaving the MAGA movement and just going against Donald Trump now, completely fabricating it. It's 100% fake. And I want to see if I could find the image for you, the bot accounts. I don't think I have it here, but I believe George might have it. Let me see if George posted it earlier today. Somebody had it that I saw. There it is. Yeah, it is George. So here is some pictures of these bot accounts. This is the narrative they're pushing. I voted for you, but 30% loss on my retirement funds are not what you promised. Here's another person. Myself and others are now sorry we voted for you. You are killing people's retirement accounts. Recall the tariffs. You cost me $3,200 in my retirement accounts Friday, and I voted for you 3 times. You're killing us. By the way, nobody actually lost money until it's realized in the market. Just want to preface that. If you pulled your money out, well, one, then yeah, you took a loss. But for the most part, you're supposed to keep your money in as far as that's what we're told to do, not giving financial advice because I'm not legally allowed to. But unless you realized it, you don't technically have a loss. Nothing happened to you. Dude, I voted for you, but you are destroying my retirement account. Pump the brakes. Stock market going down is losing my retirement. So these are all just people, look at these. It's just a bunch of no-namers, bot accounts. A lot of people think these are bot accounts. Could be real people, not sure. But that's the new hoax. That's the new narrative that people are pushing now, that Donald Trump, everybody's leaving the MAGA movement. That ain't true. I don't even know if there's a single person in here that, let's just do a poll. Now, this is biased. This is clearly biased. Does anybody in here that actually voted? Yeah, well, it is unrealized losses, but it's not realized, so you don't have a loss yet. But anybody in here that voted for Donald Trump, does anybody in here regret voting for the man? Let's just do a poll really quick. Let's just see. So yes, you regret voting for Donald Trump. No, you don't regret voting for him. I'm a no, by the way, and I got no judgment against you if you regret it. So while we're waiting, we'll go to the chat a little bit. I usually listen to podcasts while at work, and so I'm not so chatty usually. I've been having issues with Rumble playback, like if I turn off the screen to listen to audio only, the app stops. Wonder makes a great point. Everybody's saying no. We'll see if there's a yes in here. Mind you, we're all Trump supporters. Q says 90% of those on the stock market is the 1% of the 1%. Well, that is true. I would say it's not so much Wall Street versus Main Street anymore. We're all pretty much dabbling in the Wall Street nowadays. Q says absolutely not. Michelle says no. Steven says no. Lulu says no. Jeff says absolutely not. He's keeping his promises. Dixie's in the chat. Steven Cat says no, never no. Sam, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Good to see you. San Wu, rather. Not at all. Harold, no regrets whatsoever. Sea Dog, same thing. Karen says no. Beth says no. Pat says no. Jason says no. Krager says no. Not a single person I mean, there you go. I mean, that's the people you want to poll, because if you're going to say that it's everybody is just leaving the MAGA movement because we're all upset with our vote, there you go. I'm pumped too. I'm right with all of you guys. I'm stoked still. Like, there's a hit going on the market, but I'm all about it, baby. Wonder says, as a Canadian, I can't participate in the poll. You absolutely can participate in the poll. You're one of us now, Wonder. You're one of us. Welcome. Candy says no, and I would do it again. I would do it. Well, I don't want him to run again, but I would do it again, to be honest. I'm boastful. I voted for the guy 3 times. But that's what they not that I expect the Democrats and these progressive psychos to understand us, but it just shows you that they are so out of touch with reality. And I know we know that, right? We're talking about people that think they can actually transition and fucking morph into something. These are people that think they're dogs. They think they're cats. They think they're animals. They think they can transition from male to female. It's the wildest. I know I repeat myself. Did we ever think we would be in this time where people think that they can fucking shapeshift? I've never seen it in my life. I mean, I don't know if it's too much X-Files. Where is Mulder? Where is Scully when we need them? Where the F is... By the way, if you guys were curious on how I got Spooky Adventures, Mulder in X-Files, his nickname is called Spooky. If you guys didn't know that, you're welcome. I was a big X-Files fan. Where is Mulder? Where is Scully when we need them? Because we got people shape-shifting in the United States and we need it handled. Where's the FBI? Now they're having their children come out and protest. It's really crazy what's going on in New York. Now they're out there protesting. They're having kids protesting. It's crazy.
Yes. Trump's a naughty boy. Not that right. Right. Trump's a naughty boy.
Can't read or write, but who the hell needs that when you could just give your kid a sign and everything's good. Everything's A-okay. It's fine. Nothing to see here. Yep. Maybe you spent more time teaching your kid how to read or write and actually do math. They'll go, oh, well, they have A's and B's. They're fine. How many times do I have to tell you? No, they're not. No, they're not. Give them a book to read. Give them a book. Let me see how that one works out. I want to see it. Questionable. Questionable at best. So let's go back to the chat. Karen and I have a lot of Canadian cousins growing up in Maine and New Hampshire. Is it New Hampshire or New Hampshire? No one's really ever told me how the New Hampshireans say it. And by the way, Wonder, we have a lot of people from around the world that do watch our show, so you wouldn't be the only one from Canada that watches, but we also have Shib and a bunch of his UK buddies that do watch the show as well. So we got a lot of patriots scattered around the world that watch the Bald Brad Show. We got a lot of people from around the world. A lot of people in the Philippines watch the show. It's a bonkers. It's crazy. We should tell them they're just, I can't say that on, on this platform, but I appreciate you, Jason. And that's why Jason is over at Rumble. If you want to get spicy, if you want to get a little crazy, you got to go over to Rumble. E.T., the extraterrestrial, shout out to you. The charter boat guy needs his bleep whooped. That's what we were saying. The guy's a little bit crazy. I don't know if he was on something, but dude was worked up. Steamcat says it's like it's Halloween when people shapeshift. It's into cats, etc. Come on, seriously. There's let me see. These leftists are just bonkers. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. So now this is a little bit far-fetched. I mean, this is the extreme. This is not a real dog. Okay. It's not even AI. This is a guy in Japan. So this isn't left. I don't even know if this guy's a leftist. Okay. I'm showing you where I could see things going here in the United States with these crazies walking in the streets. I can see what we're about to witness taking place here in the United States very shortly. This is a human being in an outfit. Okay. This person is in a dog costume.
Yeah, perfect.
That is a person in there, by the way.
Good boy. Amazing. One more time. Yeah, cool, buddy. Thank you. Be careful.
So I want to get a little bit further here into it. Yeah, so all I need to tell you, it's a Japanese guy that's in the outfit. It's freaky as hell. It's a very expensive outfit, but that's what it can morph into, folks. That's where we are headed as the furries. But that's like the ultimate furry. You know what I mean? That's a record. I mean, the guy killed it on the costume. I remember seeing that a year ago, and I wasn't sure if I thought it was a dog. I really did. I thought it was an actual dog. So I'm telling you, they're getting good. they're getting really good. I mean, I've seen some of these men in LA dressed as women, and from a distance, you're not really sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's really fuzzy. You're like, okay, maybe that's a woman. But when you get close, it's usually a dead giveaway. You can usually tell with the chiseled jaw, the Adam's apple, it's just pushing out like a finger, you know, just looking at you every time they swallow. It's just, you could tell. They think that you can't, but you can. Some of them, they trick you, man. They really do. Like that dog, they're really trickery. I want to see if I could find it here. Yeah, this is the one that we're showing. This is the one we showed earlier. I think we showed this on Dark MAGA. Come here. No. Shh, shh, shh. Come here. Come on. Come here. We're supposed to take these people seriously. We're supposed to listen to them on how Donald Trump's a fascist. Donald Trump is a Nazi. Yeah. No. Shh. Listen. We're supposed to take these people, this guy right here, seriously. We should be listening to them. By the way, if this guy was a Republican or conservative dressed up like this, still wouldn't listen to the guy. Deranged, far gone, not with us, in a different realm. You can't shame a shameless society anymore, folks. And that is why we are in the beginnings of a societal collapse. It is weird. I'm just going to play that again for you because this is not artificial intelligence. You're like, Brad, please make it stop. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Remember when Tim Walz said that we were weird? Remember when Tim Walz said out that we were the freaky deaky party? No. No, sorry, Tim. You guys take the cake on that one. You guys take the cake on that one. Well, I think we'll end it here. It's been over 2 hours. I appreciate it. Let's go to the chat just really quick. One brain cell, it would be lovely. Dixie Dog says these people, Jeff says, at Dizzy Dogs, these people are deranged and neurotically insane. Absolutely. Jesus loves me and will not allow something like that in my vicinity. I would go to jail. Ew, I can't unsee it. You guys are welcome. If I have to be subjected to it, so do you. We're in this together. We're all in this together. Pat says, I would like to see the actual pole. I heard it's tall, lean, and has an eagle on the top with a USA flag below it. Some say the best pole in the United States of America. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like Pat, are you drunk? Pat, you drinking again? I thought you were off. Oh, that was a long time ago. I got to scroll down. Whew. My bad. That was a long time ago. What am I doing? Am I drinking? Yes, I am. I'm having Coca-Cola Zero. I want to feel like Trump a little bit, but I'm not on the diet. Soda's too expensive, man. I told you I'm a cheap ass. Somebody brought it over. I just have a case of it. Yo, soda's, it's just still cereal, 6 boxes. Can we get Trump to relieve the price of cereal so I can get back on my sweet treat? Great show, Brad, and everyone have a great evening. Thank you so much, Jason, for stopping by. Always appreciate you. Karen, thank you so much. And Bets, thank you for telling Karen that we were live. Thank you. Brad, how do I get some of my brain cells back? You tune in tomorrow morning. That's what you do. We'll bring you back to sanity tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Bald Brad Show for another damn show. Love it. HK Brad, they don't take the cake. They take the whole bakery. I don't want to dream about Tim Walz. Yeah, you do, Lulu, you little liar. No, hold on a second. I got something for you, Lulu. I got something for you. Just for those that were curious, you could dream about Tim, okay? You can dream about this man all you want. Just think about him cuddling up next to him, right? Just feeling it. Oh, so Timmy. So Tim, right? You could pretend to be a cat too. Just meow, Tim, I love you, meow. Right? All weirdo. For the boys, Jason, Pat, Sea-Dog, everybody, that's who you could dream about. Rachel Levine. That's for you. Okay? Giving you all nightmares tonight. You're welcome. Now, what's going to happen is when we go live tomorrow morning, you better be honest if you actually had a dream about either one of these people. If you don't, I will be upset. I will be honest too. If I dream about Tim or God forbid Rachel, I will detail out my nightmare. That's fair. I'll only be honest with you. If Tampon Tim was the only man on earth, I'd still be a virgin. Oh. Rat says, okay, that was uncalled for. Come at me. All right, I love you guys. This is why I want to do. Oh, God, dude, do I got to start streaming 7 days a week just so I can hang out with you guys every day? All right, I'm going to share this last story and then I'll be done. Friday night, we were hanging out with a friend. He's actually a follower of the Bald Brad Show. And we were talking about the channel. And I really did say this, hand to God. He, not that he would ever verify it, but I was just saying, there's some days where it's like, I wish I wasn't the host because I would just want to be in the chat hanging out with you guys. Because I miss so much of it. Like, because I'm obviously doing this, that I just wish like I was just in the chat, just hanging out with you guys. You know what I mean? One day we need to just do a hangout sesh, like no content, just hanging out and talking. I think that would be cool one day. Just like one day we got to do it. Not like one day a week, but just one day soon. Just so I can have an opportunity to hang out with you guys just all together. Other than that, appreciate all of you. We will be up. We will be up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have a Spooky Adventures video out. If you guys didn't catch that, 2-hour-long video, man. Ghost investigation out. So check that out. They catch some stuff, man. A woman's voice. It was crazy. It was crazy, but 2-hour-long ghost investigationes on the second channel. With that being said, hit that like and subscribe button. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning here on the Bald Brad Show. Thank you to everybody that donated, and thank you to everybody that is a member over at Rumble and YouTube. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow morning. Take care.